Um, big move for Indiana. The Pacers losing Calbert Cheaney to his alma mater, the Hoosiers, who have hired him as the director of player development. But second time he has been on staff at Indiana. But, and I have to go back and reread your piece, or the piece that's on The Athletic, but I'll go out and say it right now. I think that they're laying the foundation for that move that will come in, I'm going to say 2 to 3 years.
But Calbert replacing Mike, I think that's
Absolutely.
entirely possible. I mean, we thought that was going to happen with Dane Fife, but quite frankly, I think Woody is going to be around for a while. I mean, you look at Jim Larinaga, for God's sake, he's 76 years old. I mean, he's still going strong. I think, 63 or 64, whatever he is, where I think we're about the same age. It doesn't mean you're dying. I mean, I think
Oh,
Woody's going
no.
to be here for a while. But yeah, I think if Calbert sticks it out, I think Calbert would be a very intriguing option at head coach in place of in place of Woody eventually.
Yeah, and Dane, the difference with Dane was was hired for this it was an unusual situation. He was not hired by the coach.
Right.
He was kind of put in place along with Thad Matta. It was a weird.
Yeah, and both were out quickly.
Yes, because now Woody has his. What are they saying? The Departed. Yeah, he says he liked to keep his own counsel. He likes to keep his own counsel.
Well,
And
he's
he
got
does that.
Randy Whitman. He's got Jordan Halls. He's got Calbert now. I mean, he's surrounded himself with IU guys, and
Not
that's a
only
good thing.
that, it is an absolute 180 from what was mandated just 10 years ago at Indiana, and that was everything had to be in the opposite direction of Bob Knight and his legacy or leadership and the people that were behind him. They wanted a separation.
Right. They
They
wanted
got
to go in
it.
another direction. Absolutely.
And they got it. And what the hell they've been doing ever since? They have been trying to crawl out of this hole that they have been in ever since. And now you bring in Mike Woodson, one of the he wasn't exactly first with Coach Knight, but one of the foundational players. Then you add you add Calbert Cheaney, who was all-time leading scorer in the Big Ten, a pure Bob Knight player. Even Jordan Halls, who didn't play for Bob Knight, his grandfather came to Bloomington because of Bob Knight with him on the coaching. So this is a complete Indiana-based staff now, and
right.
It's I don't know what that's going to that in and of itself will do for the play on the floor, but it's definitely going to band-aid different generations. That's 3 different generations of fans, by the way, too. That's the huge thing. The 80s and then the mid 90s and then into the 2000s. So you're doing a lot of stuff there.
Absolutely. I mean, I did a long story on what's happened to IU over the past 20 years, and that was the thing that kept coming up, is that they tried to cleanse themselves of any Bob Knight leftovers, and they didn't want that to be part of. I mean, they almost, it was like, in Russia they erase history, and I think
we're starting to do that in America quite a bit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I think they erased the picture of Bob Knight and wanted to go in a different direction. I think they're finding out that maybe he knew something.
it's kind of hard to take George Washington. Well, he's not George Washington, but maybe I don't want to compare him to Abraham Lincoln either. But he's on the Mount. Mount Rushmore. It's hard to take somebody that's on Mount Rushmore off of the board.
Right. I agree. And look, there's a lot of things that I didn't like about Coach Knight. A lot.
I was going to say, it's not that he's just on Mount Rushmore, because if you put him on Mount Rushmore, you may have to give him a profile.
Yeah.
Instead of a full face on.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. No, that's a very good point. I mean, you know, it's you look at other schools, you know, how Duke has moved on from Krzyzewski and you know, and other programs, and they tried to keep you know, some of what they had, you know, now with Shire and who was it at North Carolina. They've done the same thing. They didn't have any success this year, though. Starting out number 1 and falling to pieces.
Are you talking about with coaches or
the
coaches?
Classes, yeah.
That they don't. Oh, I thought you meant classes they didn't have to go to.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Oh, my bad.
Following you.
Nice Callaway hat. Are we sponsored today?
No, well, I wish
we need to be sponsored.
I need some free lessons, is what I need.
Yeah.
I'm
playing today.
Tell you that.
Wells.
Oh,
a little golf with Mike Wells. I better beat him to death.
Prairie View, I'm assuming.
Prairie View, yeah. Mike Wells is the most improved golfer I have ever seen. He went from being completely inept to being pretty damn good. It's quite a thing to see. But I'm not going to let him beat me today.
Well, I played yesterday with a friend here and a couple of the guys that work here, and not on the course. One had just started playing this year, and the other one claimed he's a senior at IU, and he claimed to have started after high school, and you could tell he was very athletic looking, looked much like myself back in the day.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
But he is just crushing this thing, and I'm like, so did you play at IU? No. Did you play at high school? No. I just started playing. I'm like, oh BS. Yeah, he was just striping it, and I'm like, there ain't no way you just started playing the last 2 years. But if you did, I hate him.